Stop eating kale chips. Yeah?
Settle down. Let loose your glow. Come settle down, settle down. And I feel like for the very first time, love in my arms and the sun in my eyes. I feel safe in the 5 a.m. light. You carry my fears as the heavens set fire. Welcome to the heat.
Belly.
Valley.
Belly.
Oh, Valley. Thank you. You broke it.
Yeah.
Broke it.
You had one job.
You've done it.
Fix your equipment, Fur.
Damn, Daniel.
No. No.
Okay.
Please come upstairs there.
Don't do any of us. So that's I mean,
Brother, what you thinking? Leave the record spinning. You feel the rhythm going. Legs ain't got time to lay low. Your knees are bending, so it's time to get up and go. Hey, how's it going? Can see your body moving. Don't leave the party line. Push. Now you have nothing to say. Tonight it's amazing. Baby, can you walk around the rhythm so we can get then jump down and dance or rock and roll around with us downtown? Body, body, got me with the super hottie. Let's go. Still have it. Get up around the rhythm 'cause you know we'll never get the fast things speed up. It ain't no game. Just turn up all the things when I come up on the scene.
Sunday morning at FurSquared 2016.
Is it a Welsh or is it a Corsican?
welcome to opening ceremonies. Everyone's like, yeah, we go home.
And yet my con's the one that got the riot. Yeah, we'll open with that. So for those of you who were not here last year, closing ceremonies had a riot in the middle of it.
What are you talking about?
Because I tried to announce the con theme, which we were so proud of, and I'm really hoping that you guys have enjoyed. No, it is not KO Con, goddamn! But we had the idea for that forming at the time. There was actually even more stuff that was going on that we really wanted to work out. Some of it did work out, some of it didn't. But we were so proud of that theme. And the theme for next year is, and somebody from the audience, I'm assuming leafy greens, yelled out, kale! No! And then the audience went, yeah. And then rioted it.
Oh yeah, I heard about it.
You heard about it? What the hell, guys?
Oh, hail the tree.
Yeah, that shit. So now we're standing up on stage, like, they're not gonna let us, we tried to announce the theme 2 or 3 more times. They're not gonna let us say shit. What are we gonna do? And one of my board of directors just went, look, we can't be Kale Con. Like, you're fucking right, we can't. We had an emergency board meeting on the stage in front of everybody. And then, and thank you for being here, kitten, don't sit down yet. Kitten, don't sit down yet. And then we decided to have, instead of being Kale Con and me wanting to kill myself, that we would throw the kale ball. And last night, my friend Kitten right here showed up to the kale bowl in a full kale ball gown, complete with kale holding up the big old titties. And a lot of people asked if they could have a salad. Thank you, Kitten, for embracing the insanity which is now my life.
Always there for you. Now your life?
Des, you're another con chair. Get your ass up here.
Should we grab it?
I'm just here to eat donuts and
Oh yeah, thank you for getting more fat.
Well, I mean, obviously not me.
Oh yeah, no, and not me. I just got glandular.
Grab that. Oh yeah, that's the thing.
This is how we reset panels in the middle of a panel.
All right. Musical panels.
They told me maybe 3 weeks ago, like, oh, just want to let you know, you used all our stuff. Stuff? What stuff? Like tables. We went into the cellar for some of those tables. Don't stand on the tables. Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's like, well, there goes that panel idea.
One of the door side tables, they set it up, put it down, watched it, and it was like, put that one back there.
Like we haven't all been there. Come on.
Yeah.
At that point, you just find a volunteer, prop up the table.
Does your con have that kind of excess resources? Because if so, let's talk.
I wish I had people prop up the table.
All right. I felt bad when we had a volunteer last night holding a microphone. The guy was a microphone stand. Oh, yeah, I'm going to get a call from HR on this one. Guys, our panelists, when we do this panel, we grab some convention chairs and we come up here and we tell you the terrible things that have happened at our conventions. The con chairman of Indie FurCon, with Pandas Donuts. Pandas. The con chairman of Furriality, another wonderful. Oh, we should go over the dates. Pandas, IFC, what are the dates of that con that I have no idea when they are?
The last weekend of August, it is one weekend before Labor Day.
27th, 28th.
Thank you, Kid.
You're welcome.
Furriality, the TAC, guys, amazing convention. Check it out, TAC. When are your dates?
We are Columbus Day weekend in Cincinnati, Ohio, which is October 7th through 9th. The con chairman have no idea the dates. The staffers are like, it's Jay, you know this.
No, we do not.
It's a thing.
And this gentleman is the con chair of some small con somewhere.
Probably not heard of it.
Yeah, it's hipster con.
Hipster con. Yeah.
Unofficial theme this year, everyone.
Oh my God! We're all showing up to MFF. I was at MFF before it was cool. We'll just all
Wow.
no more tails, just 40-foot scarves behind us. Ladies and gentlemen, Woody, the con chair of the MFF.
Oh, no. What?
I'm watching you, boss.
You know, maybe I'll just talk, and that's better than trying to deal with here. But these aren't our microphones. These are actually yours.
Yeah, no, these are my microphones.
Yeah.
It gets
Don't
weird.
stand on them.
Don't stand on these either.
Testing.
So it's funny because like I've been to the convention Horror Stories here, and I've also been to. I thought Duncan and Kaz would be here, but they're not. So we have this here at convention. Then we also have it at FCLR, the Furry Convention Leadership Roundtable, where all the con chairs get together and cry. And,
Done to us.
right, and so we have the same thing, except here when we tell these stories, hopefully you guys laugh. There we kind of just fall silent and take a drink. And,
Think about what we've done with our lives.
I think the big difference in here and there is there we use names. And it's always the same 4 or 5 names.
Yep.
And we know who you are. You are proud of the worst things.
Oh, we are furries.
Yes, you are.
We literally started a panel at our con called Furries Ruin Everything. Just because of that.
That might be our theme. We're just going for broke. Furries ruin everything. We pass out on stage and then it's next year. We don't care. Stop calling my con drinking con. That's something you know but you don't say. Then it's cheese con.
It's cheese and beer.
If I read
Con, yes.
Does anyone know where we can get a giant wheel of cheese for next year?
Go to Minnesota.
Didn't you already do that themed frat con, I think, at
Yes.
So one year at Indy FurCon, we got to share the hotel and convention space with a group of fraternity brothers.
story.
Yeah, it was an interesting weekend. Put my donut down, sorry. One more story, and then put his donut down.
This will be told forever.
The donut left, and I had to put it down to talk for 5 minutes. Which part of the story should I tell?
Oh, go for it. We got the
All
time.
of it.
Should we do the part of the story?
It's past the 2 years. You are
It's past the 2
allowed
years.
to tell the whole thing.
And it was at our old hotel, so
Yes,
that's
it
fine.
was, yeah.
So, that'll be where it starts. So there was some consternation between the two groups. They were not quite getting along with each
Did
other.
he say, no, okay. I just heard
Yes,
yes.
you did.
Not copulation, Woody.
Yeah, okay.
There was
Cool.
if there was copulation
That was
happening,
later.
I didn't hear about it. The two groups were not getting along. It was just like a bunch of passive-aggressive bullshit happening. But it culminated with there was a furry trying to get on the elevator, and a couple of the frat boys were in there, and they were like, "No, you may not get on." And the furry was like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "No, you can take the next one." And he's just standing there like, "Well, what?" And as the doors are closing, one of the fraternity brothers decides to yell, "You ain't Rosa Parks, you're not getting on this bus." Oh, God. They reported this to us. And we were like, okay, we need to talk to our hotel liaison because there's no reason for this. Like, they're in a separate part of the hotel. Yes, we're going to have the elevators go up to the rooms, but our convention space is separated. There's no reason we can't get along. So we called a hotel liaison in, and we're like, hey, these are some of the things that have been happening. Oh, and it sort of culminated with this last event. The elevator and the UA Rosa Parks, doors closed. And our hotel liaison, a skinny, 25-year-old African-American lady, heard the Rosa Parks comment and did the following. Oh, hell! And she was all of us on the board were like,
There's a smoke line of
you know the Roadrunner? That was her. Oh, hell no. 15 minutes later, there were signs up everywhere. Emergency meeting, everyone that's part of the other convention. We are having a meeting now. There was less hostilities for the rest of that day.
That's an understatement.
Then, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard the fire alarm story. I love you, fire alarm story, which might get told in full detail later.
Fire alarm drunk.
While that was happening at MST3K, the furries and the frat boys decided, let's just settle our differences once and for all. Oh no. A couple of the fraternity brothers were down in the lobby. The convention space is on the second floor. The lobby's at the bottom of the escalator, and you can see what's going on in the lobby from the convention area. And there were a couple of frat boys sitting on one side of the table. A couple of furries came up, sat down at the other side of the table. And they started drinking with each other. And the frat boys started going, take it off, take it off, take it off. And they'd take off the fursuit head. They were drinking. And the fursuit started going, put them on. The frat boys put the fursuit head on. While the furries were just wearing like the bodysuits. and they're drinking, and furries are accumulating to the furry side of the table. And frat boys are coming to the frat boy side of the table. And it becomes a full-on drinking contest. No, I was not there for this, because I was obliterated by Bruce. Battlefield Earth MST3K.
Screen, center screen.
Center screen wipe, bro. My liver.
I was there for both things.
I don't know the entire chant, but if you want to see it, it is on YouTube. About 10 minutes worth of this event happening is on YouTube. But it culminated with our head of finance. It walks out of MTS 23K going, I think we're having a really good night. And all of a sudden he hears coming from the lobby, hundreds of people chanting this. And he slowly makes his way to the edge and looks down over and sees the entire lot filled with hundreds of furries and frat boys drinking and chanting and swearing. And he glances up and across on the other side on this little ledge coming out from ConOps. There's our security team, and he's like, and he gestures to the hotel desk, which is right down on the floor. And they look up at both of them and go, they went down and talked to them. They were like, are you sure you don't want us to say something to them? They're like, they're getting along for the first time in 2 days. Let them drink. But yeah, if you want to see the full video of the events that transpired, look up
Indy FurCon 2012, Furries and Frat Boys.
Furries and Frat Boys. The
I love that you just have it top of your head.
It was a great.
Probably uploaded it.
Yeah,
Oh my
that was interesting.
The TAC, you're a new convention. And I heard that sometimes new conventions can come together at the last minute.
Yes.
In fact, I've heard that some new conventions can try to create a convention in 3 months.
No, it was 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Our con was actually an accident.
I accidentally
We accidentally Okay, so what happened is Cincinnati has a very large steampunk community. And we are good friends with the gentleman who runs most of the steampunk events and stuff like that. And since steampunking is so heavily involved in costuming, and he knew that we eventually wanted to start a convention, he said, why don't you run a sub-event at our show? Basically like a giant fur meet within our con, and then they can come in and they get to enjoy the rest of the show too. They have their own dealers, tables, panels, things like that, and so on. Like, okay, that sounds like a really good idea. We'll get our feet wet, sort of jump in, get ready in a year or two from there. We had so many people pre-register in the first 24 hours that we went, oh shit, this isn't going to be a 50-person event. We had to run out, get our own hotel, dealer space, all kinds of stuff for a con suite, everything, like all the equipment, tools, stuff that you need for a convention, all our printing, all our swag, everything for the show was put together in 6 weeks. We literally had people on the internet going, this is a scam, right? Like people were like, you know what, this has got to be a scam. I've never fucking heard of this show before now, and we're like, well, yeah, no, we're new. Yeah, but like, you mean next year, right? No, we mean like 2 weeks from now. So I'm pretty sure that like half the people who showed up at our convention showed up just to see if this really was a scam, or if this would be one guy in the room going, I got your money now. So we
Enjoy the ball pit.
8 people show up for this event over the course of like a 6-week throw together, and it was like absolutely crazy. And so after our show is over, we're sitting there going, well shit, we have a whole year now. What do we do? I don't know, take 8 months off. We'll have 2 months.
I did love, I got to go to their opening ceremonies, and you could tell that the con took 6 months, or 6 weeks to put together, because they walked into the room, it's like, oh, it started, and the hard part's done, and they just basically sat down on the stage and just stared at us. Like,
We've done our part.
Most of what I do is me coming up with a stupid idea and no one telling me no. like someone should have told me that's not enough time to put together a con. Literally no one did. Everyone was like, that sounds like a good idea, I'm gonna help you with that. I had someone contact Alkali, he's like, sure, this sounds like a real thing, I'll totally go to that. Was he drunk? It's just a probably. It's just a series of people not telling me no.
that's
Like
awesome.
Kanye. I didn't have any good friends.
The greatest con runner of all time. You know, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Attendees need it better.
And FurSquared 2016 starting to wind down. Hi. Hello.
He really is.
No, I can't adopt him. I'm not here.
Oh.
Dad's fine with it. I just can't adopt him
Closing time. One last call for alcohol. So finish your whiskey or beer. Closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can stay here. I know who I want to take me home. I know now the line to take me home. I know now the line to take me home. To take me home. Closing time. Time for you to go out to the places you will be from. Closing time. This room won't be open till your brothers or your sisters come.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to closing ceremony! Guys, we're about to close out year 3. And I've got a bunch of people that need to talk, and I'm going to let them because I can't. So, we're going to start off with our Director of Artist Relations. I made Xander the Blue. Xander, what would you like to say? Oh, God, what? Oh, I can't take this one.
We're taking your luggage.
You were taking pictures of the kale at the spots.
Alkali, I want you to know I signed it.
Here it is!
I signed it.
You're all in on this shit! The worst part is, this is so fucking sweet. And now, I have to hang them up.
The mama poet is on a pill has no balance.
All hail Kale! 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 This is happening now.
These strips look like $20.
Guys, I'm going to ask you again, if you want to give to charity, stop just throwing money into the jacket pocket. It's getting really weird when I give it to you. Washness. Guys, everything that you do here is crazy. Yeah? Oh, yeah. I don't know. I love it. Guys, this is one of the hardest working people at the convention. If you didn't see him, that's because he probably spent 99,000% of the convention behind the registration desk. My team built that registration from the ground up, and I cannot imagine the amount of work that this gentleman has put into it, maintaining it, and putting it out when it's on fire. Ladies and gentlemen, how's it?
So, I hear you guys like numbers. That's usually what you want for me at these ceremonies where we close the convention, also known as closing ceremonies. So this year I'm proud to bring you 30% more numbers in the form of a PowerPoint. You're cheering for PowerPoint. So here are my very important stats. Presented in glorious PowerPoint. So number of times I watched a fursuiter walk into something absolutely everyone else in the room could see. 2. Number of times Alkali's hat was murdered.
5.
Just 1. Number of board members that wish it could have been them instead. Number of times we wanted to hear about Kale. And of course, number of times we actually heard about Kale. The number of drinks the board had this weekend, running this convention is very stressful, and we fight that with alcohol. That might be a slightly conservative estimate. Number of drinks alcohol I had this weekend. Real stats are starting. Xander kind of touched on this, and I just want to echo our sentiments that the sponsors and super sponsors really are what help this convention thrive and help us grow, and we appreciate each and every last one of you, and we're consistently blown away by just how many people go that extra step and go the level above attending to either sponsor or super sponsor. And this year, I'm proud to announce that we had a whopping 255. So now here's the real number that everyone actually wanted, which is the total furries of all levels registered for FurSquared 2016. I feel like the drum roll maybe. I'd like to thank my staff from the bottom of my heart. If any of you are in this room, one of them definitely handed you your badge. They've been working hard all weekend, pulling double shifts, showing up when they're not supposed to be there and working anyway, and they're all amazing.
This is a number that continues to blow us away year after year as well, and this year for the Fursuit Parade, we had 234 Fursuiters. That is just unbelievable. It's nearly a third of you guys registered at the convention. Our Fursuit convention outstanding. Other than that, I'd like to 234.
So ends FurSquared 2016. Had a great time. I'll see everybody all next year.
So